And I'm back.
Every single person.
Oh,
No,
actually, should I be doing an intro? Welcome to, or welcome back to Exposed. God, I'm organised today, aren't I? And if I'm welcoming you back, I'd love it if you subbed and stayed. This is part 2 of the live wearing no trousers, let's chat, but she's turned the chat off so we can't see what the dupids are saying.
nobody agrees with how everybody is judge and jury. Oh my God. Coyote.
Thing is, though, Lardy, if you don't want to be judged, then maybe you shouldn't put so much of yourself out there to be judged. Because that's what's going to happen. That's what people do. That's what happens on YouTube. You knew that before you started. But you liked it when you were on an even keel in Boston and you had money to throw away and people thought you were amazing. It was all good then. But then people watched your life go downhill fast and you don't like them commenting on it. Well, tough shit. You liked the comments when you started. If you don't want comments and you don't want attitude and you don't want people to have any input on anything you're doing, turn comments off and just talk to yourself, because that's all you're interested in anyway, isn't it?
Coyotes, javelin, whatever that is, bobcats, mountain lions. Are they around me or in the like hills? Look at baby Goosey. They have water and toys. And I'm so in tune
Of course you are.
to what's going on with them. Would never, ever let an animal suffer.
Right.
I personally don't agree when somebody lets their dog live but it can't walk. Like, what's the point of having a dog that can't walk?
Right. So if you couldn't walk, would you want to be put down? You wouldn't think, oh, maybe I could go about in a wheelchair. Don't you think dogs deserve the same? I've seen some amazing things with wheels on that people have made for dogs and cats that don't have front or back legs or whatever. And you put them down, they take off like a mad thing. I'd never keep up with them. And they're happy and they're living their life. And guess what, Lardass? They're outside in the fresh air, rolling around on the grass, having fun, smelling other dogs' bums, doing what dogs do. But yours never got to do that, did they?
Yeah, but there's a lot of grass around here.
There's a lot of grass around here that your dogs and your cat never see. Ever. Do they?
They swarm all around you. They do. They look like this one adores me. I've never, no, I did have a dog that adored me. It was my German Shepherd, and we had to put her to sleep right after Burke was born. She was only 4 years old. And a month after Burke was born, I could just tell something was wrong, and she had cancer. And the doctor was like, well, we could, try and extend her life and give her this and that. And I was just like, no, I don't, I want her out of her misery.
I wonder if Burke one day will put you out of your misery. How do you know that the medication and whatever that the vet was going to give her would keep her pain free and she'd have a bit of extra time? Who made you fucking judge and jury on how long an animal should live?
This is true, Nat. People on YouTube get ridiculed for every bloody thing. How they chew, how they cook, how they bake, you name it. It's true. And it's always from people that don't have a channel.
No, it isn't. And didn't you just sit there and say that you don't like Mad's mouth sounds and you didn't like something that Boston man was doing and you don't like this and you don't like that and you don't like the other, but no one else is allowed to say they don't like anything? I have a conversation with the people on my channel that don't like things I do. That's what you do if you're a grown-up.
It's always somebody, like, are these people perfect? That's what I want to know. Are they perfect?
Yes, I am. Thank you very much. Absolutely. Actually, somebody put that in a message earlier. Where is it? There we go. Zsa Zsa, I'm bored, commented, Jules, you are perfectly perfect the way that you are. So there you go, Lardy. Yes, I am.
Do they have perfect bodies, perfect skin, perfect lives, perfect husbands, and perfect families? If they do, they would not have time for YouTube, I guarantee you.
So that these perfect people are not allowed to have a hobby. Hobby? What happened there? They're not allowed to have a hobby. They can't watch YouTube. What are you saying? So they wouldn't have time for YouTube, so they wouldn't have time for television or film or sport or anything else. What? Really? You haven't a clue, have you?
Wild boars.
Go on, terrify her.
I don't feel safe going out at night here. I don't like Tucson. I'm just gonna say it. I don't like it here.
Because it hasn't got a nice big mall that you can steal from, and there isn't loads of places to eat. Blah de blah de blah. Everything's compared to Boston. So go back to fucking Boston then, if you loved it so much. But you won't admit that, will you?
There's nothing special about it here. You have to understand where I came from. I came from a place that had no crime, no homeless people.
Oh, fuck off. Are you telling me Boston has no crime and no homeless? Really? And that's your problem, that there's crime and homeless people in Arizona. Maybe donate to them then. Maybe help them off the street. Maybe you could do something about the homeless community. Maybe you could volunteer and do a soup kitchen or whatever. No, just complain about them.
Very diverse, clean.
You do realise right now that you are angering every Arizonan, is that how I call you? In Arizona right now. You are pissing people off left and right, slagging off their home. There's nothing special about it because you haven't got off your hole and gone and looked to see what's on offer. Because all you're interested in is shopping and eating, and you're not bothered about anything else. Maybe the people in Arizona have more to do with themselves than shopping and eating. They go out and take treks in the mountains. They, I don't know, have fucking barbecues at home or whatever. But you haven't even bothered to try and find the good in Arizona. You've just slagged it off from day one.
You were ridiculed, not really, but you couldn't let your lawn, like on the street that I grew up in, you had to have a nice lawn because it was the neighborhood. Like if your house was the one that had peeling paint, it brought down the value of the neighborhood. People had nice, normal cars. Cars needed to be off the street at night. Signs down in Coolidge Corner, this little area, they couldn't have one big sign and one little sign. It had to be like not always, not the same, but it couldn't stick out much more than the other. Like here, okay, this is what it's like here in Tucson. It's a depressed area, and now that we're in this pandemic, it's a depressed area that's depressed. It's just like dirty and dusty and homeless.
It's next to the fucking desert, is it not? Not that I know everything about America, but it's going to be fucking dusty, isn't it?
And people have millions of cars parked all in their houses, and the houses have bars on the windows, and I don't see any nice cars. Maybe one or two. Like, I came from Dana Point where there was Mercedes.
Yeah, you came from Dana Point where you couldn't afford to live. So you can't say, oh, where I was perfect, because you hated it there too, because you couldn't afford to pay the bills. So now you've moved to somewhere that you can afford to live, and you're taking the piss out of that now and all. You're never fucking happy.
There was a Mercedes was nothing. There were Rolls Royces and Bentleys everywhere.
My uncle had a Rolls Royce. Our best mate had a Bentley. Does it really matter? My uncle's Rolls Royce had a thingamy number plate. What do you call it? Personalised number plate. Every time he came to visit us, all the neighbours were hanging out the windows. Ooh, who's that? Someone with a personalised plate. Car doesn't maketh the man. A car is just a tin on wheels. Does it really matter? As long as it keeps your family safe and gets you from A to B, cars are fucking nothing. You just like showing off. That's what you wanted to do your entire life. That's all you ever did was show off. You came on YouTube to show off. Now you can't show off anymore, and it's depressing you. Diddums.
I know there's like meth heads and people carrying guns.
It's fucking America. Nearly everyone has got a gun. That's nothing to do with Arizona. And there's meth heads everywhere you go. You chose a poor part of the place to live because it suited you to live there. So now you can't make fun of the people that live around you when you were grateful to have that my beautiful apartment, my immaculate apartment. Would you have had that in another area? No. Because your new one's nothing like that one, is it? And now you'll be in the new one, wishing you were in this one. You're never happy.
And all you see are Big O tires, Starbucks, Walmart, Jack in the Box. Like it's like I didn't grow up that way. It's very, very.
Yes, you didn't grow up that way because your parents or parent made sure that you were in a decent area. And that's what you were supposed to do as you grew up, was take over the reins, look after your son, work hard, rent a nice apartment or buy a home. But you didn't, did you? All you wanted to do was spend money on yourself and live off your mother. And when your mother walked away, you couldn't make it on your own. So stop fucking whinging, because you are where you are because of you.
Very, very hard. Even in California, I grew up in an area in Boston, in Brookline, that was even nicer than Dana Point. Like, we didn't have crime. I grew up Brookline and Newton. Newton has the least, it's the city with the least town. Wait, the town of Brookline and the city of Newton. It's the city in all of the United States that has the least amount of crime. Like, I remember there was once a shooting at not an abortion clinic. It was Planned Parenthood. And some crazy nut killed the receptionist. And that was huge, because the biggest crime where I lived was that somebody came to a rolling stop at a stop sign. Like, the policemen were like all Irish Catholic, and their fathers and fathers had all been cops too. Completely safe, just nice neighborhoods.
Everywhere was nice and safe when we were kids. Things change. You can't blame the area, it's the time as well. When was this? It's 2020. It's not 1965. Things have changed, Lardy.
Here, even Burke said it, like everybody's car is shitty looking. Everybody's car looks like it's about to break down.
Your car would be shitty looking and look like it was about to break down if your mother hadn't bought you the one that you've got. And if you don't look after your one, it'll die, and then what? What are you going to be able to afford? A shitty looking car that you're looking down your nose at now. I guarantee you at some point she'll be driving a shitty looking car and she'll be glad to have it.
I'm trying to see the good in it, like it's a different lifestyle. I can live here and not struggle monetarily. But like finding a job, I don't know. They don't even have, there's like no places. There's nothing nice. And I don't want to live in Phoenix, or I'm not moving again, but I don't know.
See, I want this, but I don't want to do that. Well then, sit where you are and continue moaning, because nothing good will ever happen if you don't fucking make it happen.
Maybe if I just like met a nice guy and just puttered around. But
maybe if I met a nice guy and he had money and so I didn't need to work and he gave me money to spend. That's what you want. You want Lisa's life, don't you? Lardy said that I was jealous of Lisa because Lisa had a perfect life. Really? Uh-huh. That's why she's shopping herself into oblivion, is it? Because she's happy. That's why she told her husband to make an appointment to talk to her. That's why she forgot that she needed to buy back to school clothes for Will. That she bought so much that in her old house every closet was full of her stuff. She's not happy. If you really think Lisa's happy, you're as fucking delusional as she is.
I don't see, like, I don't know. And it's a bad time. I cannot base anything on this time in the world. I'm from Brookline, but I lived in Newton at Chestnut Hill. Hi, Mimi. Chestnut Hill is like in between Brookline and Newton. I think I would probably hate Vegas. Not homesick at all. Just, I'm so not homesick. But, I mean, even in California, like there were places to shop other than, like the highest store here is Nordstrom Rack, and it's small.
See, what did I say? That's what pisses her off, is there isn't decent shopping. That's all she wants. Somewhere to shop, somewhere to eat. She'd be happy then. But she's not happy because the shops aren't good enough for her.
You know, I grew up in the creme de la creme of Boston. There isn't, you know, people leave and then come back and say there's no city like Boston, and it's true.
And you left it because you were chasing the dream. You thought you'd find Dennis, you'd be BFFs with HRH, and then you'd be on the Real Housewives of wherever. How did that work out for you?
Eldritch Moon, are you talking about Chestnut Hill Mall? It was special, you know. It's filled with history and
shops,
beauty,
shops,
you know, really nice stores. They have everything like Saks, Neiman Marcus, Bloomingdale's. They had Bonwit Teller, like Barney's. They had everything in Boston. I haven't been, I hate to use the word classy, but it was special. It's such a special town, city. It's just, I mean, there
Which is it? You live there, so you should know. Is it a town or a city?
are bad parts, but you just don't go to those bad parts, and then there's nothing.
Well, see, there you go. So don't you think that in the bad parts they had homelessness and crime? Perhaps. And you just happen to be in a bad area of Arizona. Because that's all you could afford. You cannot judge the entire place by where you are and your standards from being pampered as a child going to fucking Bloomingdale's.
And the weather is shitty, shittier than shit. But I don't know, I'm just really disappointed with Tucson. Is like gross. It's just gross. Where do you live, Eldritch Moon? I mean, I have to be where the weather is good for my health. I would just fall to pieces. I would stay in all the time if I still lived there.
You'd stay in all the time if you lived there. So how bad would that be? When you say there's nowhere to go in Arizona, so why don't you stay in all the time in Arizona if there's nowhere to go? There must be somewhere to go because you're always out.
You know what where I hear is nice? Portland, Oregon. But too much rain. I can't be where there's rain. I'd rather, and everyone says, "Oh, the heat, the heat." I'd rather stay in because of the heat than have to stay in because of the ice and the snow, because that brings with it, you have to shovel your car out. You have to shovel the stairs. You have to make sure you don't fall. Do you know how many times I fell? My mother fell. Oh my God, shoveling snow. People die from shoveling snow. So, Lydia, you don't like it? Here? Where is the Pacific Northwest? Like, what is considered the Pacific Northwest?
You're American and you don't know that.
I'm so bad at geography. I went to the best. Oh, that's another thing. I went to like the best school systems.
And you can't do the days of the week or add up without using your fingers. That doesn't say much for the school system that you went to. But you did do really well, didn't you, at the sticking and gluing table?
In the country where most of the people go on to get 4-year degrees. The hospitals, the doctors, like everybody comes to Boston.
Why didn't you fucking stay there and do us all a fucking favour? So we wouldn't have to listen to you whinging. It obviously wasn't perfect because you didn't want to be there. Or you thought the grass would be greener on the other side and then you found out it wasn't. So why didn't you just go back to fucking Boston? Oh, I don't like the snow. I don't like the rain. I don't like this. I don't like that. Alright, so you've got rid of the snow and the rain and the wind. Now you're in the heat and you don't like the place that you are. One or the other. You can't have fucking everything.
For medical care. It's the creme de la creme. Seattle would be a great. I think I would love the vibe of Seattle, but I would have depression and the rain. Oh, so he has like that's a inner ear thing. Does living here help with that? The Cape. If you're from Boston, you don't say Cape Cod. Yeah, Washington State. I don't know. I have to be where there is no cold, where there's no snow. I was thinking of moving to Sedona, but it gets to, because I have a friend there, and she said it snows, but it's gone by 12 o'clock. She's like, I'm not gonna lie, it does get cold. Like I can't be where it's 20.
Oh.
No, Hawaii has too much humidity. I can't.
See, you can list everywhere and she will find fault with everywhere. Guaranteed, she will find fault with fucking everywhere. You could pick her out the best cloud in heaven that holds her up so she doesn't feel her own way, and she'd find fault with it. Because she's as miserable as fuck. And she's not fucking happy unless she's moaning.
I like the dryness. To be honest, I'm having this problem with my sciatica, but as far as my fibro,
Fuck off.
which I do think is exacerbated by stress, the only time I had fibro flares was when Burke was here.
You don't know what a fibro flare is. Why does no one else ever pull her on that? She has lots of people watching her that have fibro, and they listen to all this bollocks, and they don't say anything. Am I the only one with a gob that'll stand up and say, hang on a minute, you're fucking lying? I don't understand why everyone's nodding and smiling at her.
But I haven't had one. I'm just going to stick it out, because when I think about what I do on the daily, oh yeah, I thought that was an inner ear thing. I don't know why, Reynolds.
She'll have that now.
Ooh, not Florida. No, I'm sorry to people that live in Florida, but I'm so glad I didn't go to Florida. And I was only going to go there because a very good friend of mine had just moved from like San Francisco area. So she lives.
I'd love to go to San Francisco, but I would have to be on wheels. Does anybody walk in San Francisco? See, I'm basing it on what I watched growing up. Do you remember Carl Malden, Lardy? Carl Malden and Michael Douglas in the streets of San Francisco. I used to love that programme, and I used to watch the roads and think, how does anybody walk up them hills all the time? Surely everybody's got a car. Or a motorised scooter or something at least. Looks beautiful, but I couldn't walk there.
In Boca and can, live in a really nice house. But Florida is the pits. And I don't like the whole mentality of Floridians. Like, I'm not talking about snowbirds. I'm talking about born and raised. Well, why are people? No, I don't want Northern California either. Like, what is this? This is where I'm gonna start to get pissed off.
You asked. You said, I hate living here, so people are giving you suggestions of other places that are warm, and now you're getting arsey about it.
Just typing in. Okay, this is what you're doing.
God, she's a miserable fucker, isn't she?
Okay. Northern California. What does that mean, Anthony Eaton? Share snow. What are you saying about Florida? That I should live there? I'm staying here. This isn't a discussion.
You just said you didn't like it there. If she was ever fucking nice to the people in her chat, I would spontaneously combust.
discussion about where I'm moving to. If you live in Florida, then say, I live in Florida. I live in Northern California. Hawaii, like, okay, what are you saying about Hawaii?
I must admit, I watched What's Her Face, Pink So Foxy, Christine, is it? Kobzef or whatever it is. And her and Michael, when they lived in Hawaii, and it looked absolutely beautiful there. All the beaches. Ugh, I'd spend all day sat in the sand watching the sea. Or the ocean, whatever you call it over there. But apparently Hawaii's really expensive. So that probably wouldn't work. Like I'm ever going to get there anyway. Let's be honest, I'm never going to get out of this bedroom, am I?
What about Hawaii? Tina, I don't know what you guys are saying. I'm going to wait for the thing to catch up because
Miserable as sin.
did you misunderstand me and think that I'm moving? I'm not moving. I didn't want to move. I thought about Scottsdale, but it's a lot hotter there than it is here. And I probably should have moved to Scottsdale, to be honest, but I didn't know anyone.
What does it matter if you know people? Why do you have to know somebody? You're a grown-up. You pick where's best for you to live. You don't base it on who's living there already. I didn't have a friend there. I packed up a case and moved from London to North Wales. I knew nobody. I didn't stop and think, oh, I need a friend to come with me. I can't cope there on my own. So, when you moved from this apartment to the one you're in now, why didn't you go to Scottsdale then, when you had the opportunity to move again? No, you've stayed in Tucson so you can slag it off even more.
Where in Florida might you move to, Cher? Thank you.
Yuck.
They're just glue-on nails from Kiss. I didn't even shape them.
Colour's horrible.
I would move from Pennsylvania to anywhere. I'm not a big Pennsylvania fan. I mean, I've been there, but you know where? Philadelphia. No, sorry, Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh, I think, is a happening town. Kind of like Seattle. That's what I think.
Yeah, see, you make up all these things in your head about how wonderful things are going to be, and then they don't end up like that, do they? And then you get ever so upset.
I'm hoping, Cindy, your name is Cindy, right? Like I've been calling you Cindy, and I think it is. It wasn't it Cinsta? I think it's Cindy. Oh no, don't go to Orlando. I like Orlando, but if you're going to go to Florida, be near an ocean. I think once I start meeting people too, you have to remember I moved in January and then this whole shutdown started. Okay, good. This whole shutdown started, and so I just see things through different eyes. It's all perspective. So being in a depressed area to begin with, like this place isn't booming. It's not a booming, vibrant pulse of a city that I
Is anywhere booming in the fucking pandemic? I'm just going to go and check and see if I can upload part 1 yet. Be back in a sec. Okay, we're back.
am used to. I'm used to for lack of a better word, vibe. I hate that I use that word. It's a vibe. If you get it, you get it. If you don't, you don't.
Do you know what I think's really sad? Is that you're using that word and so's Lisa. And HRH is what, 20 years younger than you? Why can't you use your own word? Why do you have to use a word she's using?
That's what she sounds like. Dana Point was beautiful.
Dana Point was beautiful. And you didn't do anything there either. Apart from eat and shop. And drink. Did you go and sit on the beach for more than 2 days? No. You went to the drum circle twice. You didn't do anything while you were there. You had a car, you had your health, you could have been tootling about doing all sorts of fun things. Did you? No. Now you're thinking, oh, I should have done more when I was there. But it's too late now. And you will be thinking now, in the apartment you're in now, I wish I'd stayed in the other one, it was nicer. But that's too late. And deep down, I reckon, even though you'll never admit it, you're thinking, I wish I'd never left Boston. Oh, can you hear that, folks? That is the sound of cars driving on a wet road. Whoop, whoop. It's pissing it down out there. And I love it.
But I don't know. I'm just used to living in a different East Coast versus West Coast. And I also grew up in a Jewish area or WASP area. So it's not just that they were Jews. It was very, very diverse. I mean, in Burke's class alone, there were 2 same-sex parents in a class of 22. It's very, very high. I was like the only divorced person. I don't want to date. First of all, you can't date. Now it's all online, and they're showing how you can have this relationship back and forth online. That's all that the guys ever wanted to do to begin with, because they could say they were this and that, and they never had to like really show anything.
Oh, a bit like you were saying you were 10 years younger than you actually are and 200 pounds lighter than you are and all the rest of it. And then you went and met them for something to eat and they saw the real you and climbed out the bathroom window.
It's not a matter of being attractive. I can't date right now. I can't. I'm in too much pain. I'm like, I'd be no good to anybody. No one's moving to Buffalo.
When are you ever any good to anybody? I'm just going to check my wires again because things are clicking and clacking. Can you hear that noise or is it in my head? Am I going insane? Insane was the word I used then. I keep making sure that everything's pushed in as far as it can go. And then it starts going. It's really fucking irritating.
Yeah, I know. Like Boston, people are melting. The summers are brutal. Blackouts. It's the weather. I know why I'm so cold. I have my air conditioning on and I'm freezing because it's only 75, but I'm afraid to turn my air conditioning off because I'm afraid it won't go back on. I don't know why. It's just a thing. There's no reason for it not to go back on, but I can't. I'll keep the air conditioning. Boston is 77.
Put on a fucking cardigan if you're cold. Maybe you wouldn't be freezing if you weren't sat there in your pants with no trousers on. You've got a furry thing on the back of the settee there. Wrap that round you if you're cold, dumbass.
Night and humid. Dana Point is 63. Oh my God, Buffalo. Scottsdale is 95. The whole week, Scottsdale is 103, 109, 109, 109, 109, 107, 107, 109, 112, and all sunny. That's Scottsdale,
You're not in Scottsdale, though, are you?
where you can go and melt.
Wasn't it 117 in your car one day? Seems pretty hot in Tucson, too.
So let me just see what the weather for. Look at Dana Point. 71, 73, 78, 78, 75, 75, 75, 78, and all sun. This is where there's perfect weather. But you also can't, you have to be a millionaire to live there.
Give and take.
Just the most perfect weather. Boston's all
If somewhere's perfect, it's going to cost to live there. That's sod's law.
over the place. 73, 71, 82, 78, 80, 87, and then cloud, 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 cloud. Ugh.
Can you shout a bit louder?
Boston
I don't think they heard you in Dana Point.
is just partly cloudy, always cloudy. It could be sunny and then you're at the pool and then a rainstorm and everybody goes home and then the sun comes out. Like there's no, you can't plan anything. Hate Boston weather. I can't believe it's 95 in Scottsdale. Oh wait, Tucson is going to be in the hundreds the whole week and sunny. 100, 103, 105. I mean,
So that's not perfect.
the difference between 103 and 112 is a lot. I agree, my love of crafts. I need sun. I don't care. Oh, Montreal is such a great city, though. I loved when I went to Montreal, but yeah, and so is England. Like, it's always
No, no. Nah. If you come here, I'm going there. Nuh-uh. Nitto, as my friend used to say. No.
cloudy. I get
My friend Dell. Here's a story. Back in the day, when I was a barmaid. Yeah, a barmaid. I was a barmaid. He drank in the pub. And he, instead of no, he used to always say nitto. And I said to him, why do you say nitto? And he went, it's a short version of no, innit? I'm like, no, it's a longer version of no, Dell. It used to make me laugh.
seasonal depression. I did in Boston. I'd rather deal with heat and I'll just stay in. And I should date. It would be nice, but I don't. But what are we going to do? You can't go out anywhere. We're going to wear masks and go out for dinner. It's not the time to do anything. It's the time to just wait this out, ride it out, and wait for change. But now's not the time that I really want to, like, maybe you know the answer, Lydia. Where can we go? Is there like outside? I mean, I'm not talking now, but I don't know. In Dana Point, there was always that nice restaurant I'd go to that had outside with the fire.
See, food. Food and shopping. That's all she's concerned about. And pubs, clubs, whatever you have out there, where she can go and drink and dance and look stupid. And she doesn't think that's sad. That's a nothing existence. If that's all your life rotates around, does she not see that?
Fire pits and then music inside. Like, are there places like that here other than La Encantada?
Go and investigate yourself.
I picked Tucson because I was thinking about Florida. I was thinking, how am I going to move? So it had to be someplace, like I thought Texas, even though Texas would have been bad. I needed a place that first I needed to know somebody where I was moving. So
Why? Why did you need to know anybody when you've got friends in your phone and your computer? You make friends where you go if you're normal. When we moved here and I put my son in the local nursery, within a week I'd arranged a mother's night out and we were all out at the pub and clubbing. I didn't know anyone here. Within a week, Lardy. So it just shows if you're a nice person, people want to be with you. You don't need to have friends where you move to. You move to the best place for you and then you make friends. But of course you can't do that, can you? Because you're horrible.
I knew someone in Houston. I knew someone in Florida. Lots of people in Florida, in different parts of Florida. And I knew some people, two people in Arizona. No, 3 people. One in Scottsdale, one in Tucson, and one in Sedona. Is that it? It's just La Encantada is the only place. Otherwise, like, there's nothing. It's just like Walmart, Target, Albertsons, Fry's, Sally, Mobile, AT&T, Big O Tires, Jiffy Lube, McDonald's. That's it.
Maybe if you'd put a bit more effort into looking up to the area you were moving to, perhaps you'd know what was there before you went. You know what you're looking for. You want bars, you want food, you want shopping. Why didn't you just research that? No, you want everyone else to do it for you and then blame them when you don't like where it is you move to.
Such a bad move. I'm not moving. Just disappointing. So that's how I went. So I thought of places that were kind of nearby because I couldn't fly. I wasn't going to fly. I mean, moving is expensive. So I wasn't going to fly. That's it. Don't say that. Not even like a half an hour away, some nice, cool places that have live music. Like there's no Stillwater Cafe like in Dana Point.
There was this in Dana Point, there was that in Boston, but you're not there now. And I don't want you going somewhere half an hour away so that you can come out drunk and drive home for half an hour. I'm glad there's nowhere for you to go.
Point. Used to go there by myself, feel complete. I'd have a ball. There's so many places like that in Laguna Beach. I know I could get a community paper, but I'm not going anywhere now. And Arizona just spiked big time. So that's why I say I'm not doing anything now. And Lydia, you're married. Like I have to be, I'm going to join. I did join a singles group, but everything's been put on hold. So then
She's the last person I'd want in my singles group. Can you imagine? Really? Fucking nightmare she'd be.
I was going to move to Sedona. That's really where I was going to move. And because a good friend was there, but there was nothing for rent because it's a very big tourist spot. So then I was looking close to Sedona in Cottonwood, and it was so desolate. And then she was showing me pictures out on her drive from Cottonwood to Sedona. And I was like, oh, no, this is not me. Wow, 43 years. That's a long time. My God, that's a long time. And I couldn't find any apartments. And then Scottsdale, like you see, like is like just right outside of Phoenix. Phoenix is referred to as a little LA. I was like, no, I don't want that, because I never went to LA. I don't like that whole thing. So then one of my subscribers was like, I live in Tucson, and there were plenty of apartments for rent. The rents were so unbelievably inexpensive.
Which is why you chose to move there. But now you blame the person that mentioned it because you didn't do your due diligence, as Americans say, and check the area out before you moved there. You just wanted to be somewhere cheap. So you ran to somewhere cheap. And now you're moaning about it.
And it was kind of like I was on autopilot. I couldn't live in California 1 month more. I could not afford it. The gas had gone up. And I was just like, what do I really do with my life? I'm kind of a homebody. I don't mind staying home. I have my animals. I have a little job, and then I come home and I date once in a while and whatever. So what do you really want? Like, do you want to live somewhere that you can afford? But that doesn't necessarily, like, you can't have it all. You can't have great weather, perfect weather, and the cost of living. I'm going to, Tina. And the cost of living, like, the cost of living is going to be more in Tucson. I mean, in Scottsdale. And my goal is to not spend all of my money on rent, because that's the only thing I can control, right? I'm on a fixed income. So the only thing I can control is what I pay. So
if she's having her rent paid, does it matter where she lives? Because like in the UK, people that get housing benefit, as far as I know, it depends on where you move to, but they pay your rent. They don't give you the money and then you pick where you live and you find the cheapest place and you save what's left over. They automatically pay the rent wherever you go. So it could be 100 quid a week in one place or 70 in another. Regardless, that's what they pay, and then you pay the bills, etc. Because over here we don't get bills included. So on top of the rent, you've got your gas, your electric, your water bill, council tax, yada yada yada. But she doesn't have to worry about any of that because everything's in on the rent. And she still complains, even though she's not paying that. And she's having everything else paid for her as well. She's never fucking happy.
if let's say I made a couple of friends, let's say I had a little job outside of the home, which I was going to have just two little ones, like 1 day a week, and then everything went back into lockdown. Now I'm looking into 2 others, but whatever. This is what I would like. I live here. I love my apartment. Meet a couple of people, get a little job outside of the home, maybe date, go out for a couple of dinners, and that's it. That's all I want out of life. I'm not looking for a career. I'm not looking for this big, to go out and have drinks and all the time. Like, I don't feel well enough to do that. So yeah, and Scottsdale, like, it's got all the malls and shopping and everything, but I can't really do it. It was awful, and it was so bad, the stress every month on how I was going to pay rent.
But somebody explain, was she actually paying the rent in California? Because I don't think she was there either. I don't know.
It was all very unnecessary also because I was only there because my mother had agreed that we had to live someplace really nice. So I was living above my means because we did it as a family and she was helping me. And then she just up and moved and left me in that situation. I go back to it because
Blame your mother. You wanted to move to that area as much as she did. Don't fucking blame her for it.
it is why I am where I am right now. Even Long Beach was nicer than here, to be honest. Had more stuff.
Yeah, but you didn't like Long Beach, did you? So that's why you moved from there. But yet you're blaming your mother. Whatever.
Stuff going on. I used to go to Fifth Ave in Long Beach all the time. I knew all the shop owners. I'd sit outside. You guys remember I'd sit outside and do Periscope. I'd go to Nick's on Fifth, I think, or Third, Nick's on Fifth. And I would sit and do Periscope and have drinks and dinner by myself. Remember all of that? Drive over the bridge. I mean, I could afford Long Beach, even though it was pretty scummy, but
See? But it was perfect when you moved in. Your arts and crafts don't tell me. She made the arts and crafts cottage at the glue table. That's where you did it, the sticking and gluing table. With the MDF and lolly sticks, and you made your arts and crafts. But the only problem was it wasn't in the best area, so you had to move, didn't you? Mum, 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 mum. Yeah. It's all her fault though, isn't it? Nothing to do with you.
it was crap. There was also, it was like the ghetto. I lived in the ghetto part. Blueberry coffee. Oh yeah, I would get blueberry coffee from 7-Eleven every morning on my way driving Burke to school. I don't know, but there's no place here like that. There's the Maverick, which I'm not stepping into the Maverick. It's like a saloon.
Such a snob.
Yeah, Belmont Shore was nice, but that was just one little area, but very nice. And then it had a downtown with all the homeless people lined up. I mean, it wasn't ideal either, but
Do you ever fucking stop and think? I was going to say you're only one paycheck, but you don't get a paycheck. You're only one disability check away from being homeless yourself. If you weren't having your rent paid and money paid to you for your pretend illnesses, you'd probably be on your ass on the road, begging. You're in a fucking apartment and you're still begging. Do you ever think, ew, homeless? Yeah, they were you once. One little mistake and they tried a drug and they were addicted to it. One little mistake trying alcohol and then they were addicted to it. And then they ended up on the street. How about they were married and their husband walked out on them and they couldn't look after themselves and they couldn't pay the rent and now they're on the road. But they're below you, aren't they? No, laddie, they are you. They are fellow human beings that you look down on when you've got no right to look down on fucking anybody.
but it had a personality. That's what it is. Tucson, to me, has no personality. It's just there. Like I was saying to my friend, there's nothing special about it. And she's like, well, what do you mean special? it's just personalityless. There's nothing. It offers nothing. Like, I don't know. If I start to get upset about it, I think, is this how I'm going to live the rest of my life? Just like here? Because I'm so unfulfilled. I've lived my life already, like I lived the married life with the houses and the child, and that's all over now. The child is grown, which happens to everybody, but there's no marriage, and I don't have any friends here. I haven't had a venue to even make a friend. I go days, I'm going to start to get sad. I go days without talking to anybody. I could call my friends back home, but I'm just not a person that makes phone calls. I don't talk on the phone. And
So why are you fucking complaining then? I could go days without talking to people, but I'm not going to use the phone. I don't like the phone. So you're never going to talk to anyone, are you? People are willing to talk to you on there, but you don't want to fucking interact with them.
it's very easy for me to get very lazy and unmotivated, and I don't feel great all the time. So to like make an effort, it's like an effort. Everything feels like a huge effort right now for me. I'm still not like acclimated. I've been here 6 months
And
almost.
you're still not acclimated to the place that you've been in for 6 months. Wow.
Just like a few days short of 6 months. And I've been in lockdown since March. Think about that. So,
Like, lockdown fucking affected you at all? You still went out. When you were told not to go out, you went out. Did you go out and do a fucking week's worth of grocery shopping or a month's worth of grocery shopping so that you could hunker down? No. You went out every single day.
I don't know. Yeah, clinic, exactly. Like, it's like I reached out to a kirtan group and said, "Oh, I'd really like to be involved. Are you doing any kirtan?" And they're like, "Not until this is over." So everything is shut down. I lived in California 4 years. It took me 4 years to really get in a groove. And like my apartment complex, I knew everybody there. We were all friendly neighbors. You'd go to the pool and everyone was having beer and a party and food and everything. I don't think the pool here is like that. I'm going to have to really make an effort to join places and do things.
Well, duh, do you think so? How else are you going to make friends if you don't get off your ass, go out and do something?
I mean, if California hadn't been so expensive, I wouldn't have moved. So that's another thing. So I had to move where I could drive. And this, like, Texas would have been closer. But I've been to Houston and I hated Houston. And it's very humid. And I don't know, I just didn't.
I've always fancied the idea of Texas because of the amount of room they have there. Because it's huge, isn't it? Isn't Angelica Nyquist, doesn't she move to Texas? But her house is quite small. She did a video the other week about things that are different between Sweden and America. And she said people kept talking at her and she's like, what are you doing? We don't talk to our neighbours in Sweden. Go away, weird man. Now she's loving it.
I agree, Julie. I feel the same way. And so then In Florida, I couldn't have, done that drive by myself. That would have, with
But you weren't by yourself, were you? You had Gungor and Burke.
all my animals. So Tucson was, an 8-hour drive that turned into 13 hours, and it was hell. It was, an 8-hour drive that turned into 13 hours, and it was hell. I was sick, and I had a fever that I didn't know.
It's doing it again. What is that? Just had a break to have a chat with the hubby. And then I came back and there was this weird music playing, and I thought, where the hell's that coming from? And I redid her video, and it's on her video, and I don't know if she's put it on to cover something up, or if it was accidental, or what it was. So I've just cut out all of that because it was me going, huh? What? What's this? Where's it coming from? You know that meme that says something, something, something about the computer? I've got 25 tabs open and I don't know where the music's coming from. That's me, and that was me just then. I was like, huh? Is it me? Have I got a... was checking everything. No, it was on here. Very strange. How weird is this? Very calming. But I wonder, does she know it's on there? And like I said a minute ago, if she put that on there, why not just edit out the bit that she doesn't want us to hear? See, I can see it was 2200 just for rent. I can lip read you, laddie, so why didn't you just snip it out? Very strange. It'll cut out in a minute. I'm just loving watching Pom Pom make a little bed. Scratch this bit, move that bit, twirl around a bit. Will this do?
In Brookline, you had to park. You couldn't park on the street overnight. So that apartment was $1,600, and eventually, over the years, my rent went up to $1,850. God. Are you watching me on my live right now? Is that it? Then the second apartment was $2,100. That was a gorgeous apartment. They tore it down. Are you watching right now? Is that what it is that you're watching?
What's she doing? Imaginary conversation with her mother.
Doesn't make sense that one person is here, but two people are here. Which one should move? Plus,
your mother is 80 fucking years of age. She's probably older than that now. And you want her to move halfway across the fucking world again to be with you? No. And you're the one that's always whinging about how wonderful Boston was. If anyone should move, it should be you, fuckwit.
You just care about yourself. You don't care about my physicalness. We forgot all about that. My physical health.
Has your mother got to carry you for the rest of her fucking life? Really? Is there no point where you're going to stand up and say, I'm a grown-up, I can do this alone? Ever? What are you going to do when your mother dies? Then what? Do you think you're going to inherit a fortune and live like a queen? No, see, now she's backing on Burke being a Hollywood superstar and going to the BAFTAs, and he's going to buy her a big house wherever she wants to live. Until he finds somebody that wakes him up and says, look at what your mother's doing, look at who she is, and he cuts you out like he should. Like all children with narcissistic parents should. And don't start the, my mother's a narcissist. No, she fucking isn't.
You had a small cottage that was in Long Beach, California. Please get off my live. That's just creepy. Sitting there watching when you could be here.
Putting up with your abuse again. She's got more sense than that.
That was my apartment in Brookline, Ruby. That was a steal. That was so meant to be. Burke was able to go to the best school, like the best elementary school from kindergarten to 8th grade. Yeah, nice and warm. I'm never going back to Boston. Oh, I went to Salem all the time. My father lived in Marblehead. Salem's depressing to me. I don't like gray. I don't like lighthouses. Lighthouses are depressing for me.
What?
Some people just want it their way.
Says she. Some people just want it their way. I wonder who that could be.
You're not going to get it. Oh my God, leave me alone. Leave me alone. I know you're watching. You want me to do this in public? I will. I'm doing it. I don't care what is you. I don't care. You are only thinking about you. I'm thinking about my health. And for my health, I will never go to Boston.
I think she's actually, absolutely lost the fucking plot.
Leave me alone.
There was no proof whatsoever that her mother was watching. I remember people saying, and I think I watched it at the time, and there was nothing in the chat. She just made out that that was her mother on the phone and then started going all weird and talking to her. That's probably why she's turned the chat off, so that nobody can see that her mother wasn't fucking talking to her at all. It was her having a funny 5 minutes.
It's really, really sad. This is what narcissists do.
Whatever.
Or people that need to be in control every second.
Like you. She's lost the plot, totally.
I'm not going to disintegrate here.
Ah, but you did, though.
You want to talk? You want to talk through my YouTube channel? Is this really what you want to do right now? I'm never, ever, ever moving back to Boston. I've offered for you to come here, and I would help you find a place.
So she has to do what you want.
Do not tell me I will disintegrate here. What a horrible, horrible thing to say. Forget about my health? You forget about my health. You don't care about my health. You only want what you want because you want it. This is how our relationship is. You watch me on YouTube. That's what you chose. Get off my channel. Get off my channel.
She can watch you all she wants. There's no law against her watching you. If she even is. Can you not see how insane you look right there? Actually, talking about looking insane. I was going to do two the same, but it's not. It's that look she gives people when she's trying to scare them. Are you watching me? Are you there?
Stop watching me.
Keep watching her, Carol.
And stop lying to me. I know you've lied. I've looked into where you live or said you lived. You're lying. Home is where the heart is. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm never going back to Boston. There's no way in hell I'm going back to Boston. You can try and lure me with money and whatever. I'm never going back to Boston. Ever. I promise you. I care more about my health. You should care about my health.
She's caring about her fucking own health. Is she not allowed to do that? No. She has to wrap you in cotton wool and mollycoddle you till the end of your days. Grow the fuck up, Lardy.
So fucking creepy. Ugh.
You are.
I'm keeping this up. This will get me views, money. You will disintegrate. Who says that to somebody?
Honestly, you get so offended by the least thing. Go and get another tattoo, you freak. That's the only thing that you could think of to say that your mother said that was so fucking terrible in 56 years, or well, 54 years at that point. Go and get another tattoo, you freak. And now she said you'll disintegrate there. Wow, you really can't take anything, can you? Dish it out? Oh, you can dish it out, but you certainly can't take it, can you?
On and on. You'll get better if you come back to Boston. You'll love it. It's beautiful and clean. Forget your bad health and get better. You need a life, Lori. You are going to disintegrate there. Thanks. Who are you thinking about? Who are you thinking about? Me or you?
God forbid she'd think about herself at 80 years of age.
Can't come to Arizona. It's not me and it isn't you. Come home. It's not me, but I will make it here. It's not you, but you should be here with your daughter anyways.
Really? Really? Do you know how pathetic you sound? Fuck's sake.
Anyways. I don't want to start over. I'm fine. I will never, ever depend on anybody else my entire life. I have myself. I do wish I had somebody to help me because there are days that I can't get to the grocery store because I'm in so much pain. And I often think, I wish my mother was here because maybe she could help me. And then if anything happened to her, I could help her.
Bollocks. I wish my mother was here with her credit card paying for everything and taking me out for lunch every day like she used to do. That's more like it. And people that are sick do what they can on their good day. So while you're out driving around Tucson doing fucking nothing, you could do a week's worth of groceries shopping and have it in your fridge for the day where you feel like shit and you don't want to go out. That's what other people do.
And it's really, really, really sad that I don't have a mother here to help me.
Really? At 56, I think you were here, or 57. You still want your mother to help you. At 57. My mother hasn't helped me since I was fucking 15, and even then she wasn't helping. I was cooking for her. Fucking wiring the thing, waking me up, age 13, at 4 o'clock in the morning, because she wanted a cup of tea, and the electrics had blown. So I had to get up and rewire the fuse wire in the fucking cupboard so she could have tea. At 13. You're 57 and you can't make it on your own. Pathetic.
And I think, okay, well, Marjorie and Roberta don't have a mother either, really. And people whose mothers died, they don't have a mother. But the thing is, my mother isn't dead. My mother is still physically vibrant and should help her daughter.
Really?
Who is not.
Of course you shouldn't.
But when you are so consumed with your own narcissism, you cannot see beyond that. All you want is what you want.
Right. Turn that around and listen to what you just said. Because, Lardy, that's you. You're the narc. You're the one that wants everything your way. You're the inconsiderate fucking 57-year-old that wants an 80-year-old to move back from where they're happy and comfortable to look after you in your retirement years. Really. You couldn't fucking make this up. They wouldn't even put this on a program because no one would believe it was true.
How about what I want for once? Just...
You got what you wanted. I want to move to California, Southern California. And I did. On my mother's credit card. And she didn't like it, so she went back to Boston. But I don't want to go back there, and I think she should still be here, wiping my ass at 57 years of age.
Do what I want. For me. Just for me. It's called a sacrifice. It's called a sacrifice. And that's true.
When have you ever done anything for anybody else that's called a sacrifice? Huh? When? I wanted to move away from here ages ago, but my daughter was happy in her school, so I said, right, we'll wait until she's left school, and then we'll see about if we can get out of here. Did I put myself first? No. Have I ever put myself first since I got married? No. You know nothing about sacrifice. Everything has to be your way or the highway.
True, my life is Mimi. I will make my life no matter where. And it's terrible. And I am a hustler. It's terrible when your own mother has a jealousy for you.
Whatever.
When you give But you always have to get something in return for giving. It's not giving. I've made so many sacrifices for my child. What
Yeah.
sacrifices have you made for me?
She paid to ship you and your son and your car and all your animals halfway across America, first class. Have you forgotten that? You talked her into moving and she said, okay, let's give it a go. She didn't like it. She went home. You've never let her live that down, have you? Because she should still be there wiping your big fat ass. I don't really. Are your minions here? Tay-Tay, are you here? Irma, anyone else? Are you hearing this? Which part of this do you not understand? Look at the narcissist in all its glory. Shouting abuse at an 80-year-old woman and guilt-tripping her because she put herself first once and went home. And people wonder why I swear.
It's not saying you haven't done things for me. What sacrifices have you made for me? None, ever. Never made a sacrifice.
Okay, tell me what sacrifices you made for Burke. Where's Burke on the cruise? Fuck knows. He's off doing anything. He could have gone overboard. I don't care. Could have been snatched by a paedophile. I'm getting drunk and dancing and giving the band blowjobs. I don't care where he is. How many schools was your child in? Because you kept moving and taking him out of one and putting him in another. How about all the time that you took him with you to Ben and Ethan's when they were talking sexual, and so were you, and he was 12 or 11 and he was sat there listening to it all? Did you sacrifice anything and say, no, I'm sorry Ben and Ethan, I can't come to yours, I've got a child to look after? What sacrifices have you made? Oh, look at my grocery haul. Oh, I didn't know what Burke liked, so I got him this. That was in California. And you didn't know what your child ate. And you sit there and try and insinuate that your mother's a narcissist when she's been there for every fucking operation and paid for everything you ever wanted. And because she finally said, I don't like California, I'm going home, you've never let her live it down. Sacrifice. What fucking sacrifice have you made? God, this woman's insane.
Even now, won't sacrifice your own comfortability.
Is that a word?
So what? Move to some place that isn't you, and you suffer a little bit, not being wherever the hell you are. Which certainly isn't in a hotel, a beautiful hotel. Because I called and they looked since January and you're not there.
Maybe she's doing what you did and changing her name so that you can't find her. Way to go, Carol. Calling yourself Fred Flintstone or something. I wouldn't tell her where I was if my life depended on it.
I want it to end. I just want it to end. I want to be left alone. The emotional manipulation, the emotional up and down. I'm not riding Crazy Train. I don't want to go on Crazy Train anymore. Emotional roller coaster, up and down. I'm coming, I'm not coming, I'm coming, I'm not coming. I'm helping you with your leg, I'm not helping you. I'm coming to Burke's graduation, I'm not coming. I'm coming, I'm not coming, I'm coming, I'm not coming, I'm coming, I'm not coming, I'm coming, I'm not coming.
Oh, that's where I made that gift from. I always wondered where it was from.
You did that to me when I had my knee operation so many times. And then you wondered why I recoiled when you went to hug me after what you had put me through? I don't care. I don't care. I don't care. Let the gossip people, you did it. Let the gossip people gossip and say whatever they want. You know the truth, but you've twisted it around in your head. And I know the truth, and Burke knows the truth. And that's all that counts.
Does he, though, or have you filled his head with bollocks? Does he know the truth?
Yeah. A mother should. And a mother shouldn't lie to her daughter and let her daughter think that she's living in luxury while her daughter is suffering. That's fucked up. That's fucked up. So the whole, now I don't even believe the first class shit anymore. I don't believe you flew anywhere first class. I have to see it. I have to see the ticket. You did that to taunt me. As I lived in a 1-bedroom in the living room and let my son have the bedroom. You're a piece of work. You know, I do like doing these lives. And I like the interaction. But they always backfire on me. Either I get trolls, haters, people giving out my address, and now this. Knowing that I'm being watched. And then you're texting me and it pops up on my computer and it pops up on my phone.
How do you get text to pop up on your computer, out of curiosity? I mean, it's obviously a thing because she's always looking at the screen and then looking at the phone, but I just want no idea how you set that up.
The one thing that I have that I've always had, because I had to have, is so much self-love for myself, so much confidence. I am such a survivor.
Survivor my arsehole. You're as fucking pathetic as Lisa is. You'd probably hoover your hair up, wouldn't you, and not realise that there was emergency stop buttons in fucking car washes. You've no idea. You've never had to fend for yourself, have you? This is the first time ever and you can't cope.
Thank you, my love of crafts. And my son knows that as well. He has now realized.
Because you filled his head with bollocks.
But I love myself so much.
Good.
I have mothered myself when I didn't have one to mother me. I will always, always survive because I am a hustler as far as, you know, like I just get what I want because I work for it. I've gotten
work. You get what you want every time because you work for it. Mummy, can we move to South Carolina? Not South Carolina. Where am I? South California. Can we go first class, Mummy? Can I take my car, Mummy? Can I take my animals, Mummy? And will you pay for everything? That's great, yeah. I worked really hard for that.
Every job I've ever wanted, really, really wanted. I've gotten every man that I've wanted, really, really wanted. And I will survive this and be happy. It's a bad time, and nothing lasts forever. So it's a bad time right now. But I'm surrounded by unconditional love from Bella, from Pom Pom, from Gucci. Did you guys see my video this morning? This cat is not a friendly cat. Like, he doesn't like to be held. It's all on his terms. I mean, he's your typical cat, you know? So I posted this on my Instagram. Let me just. You see him push his face into me? Like, pushed it in. Let me just.
Yeah, that means, oi, fat lump that feeds me. Are you getting out my bowl's empty?
Talk out. He sleeps with next to me. I have all that I need. I will not deteriorate because of my surroundings, because that's all it is. These are just things. These are just surroundings. I can survive anywhere. Anywhere. I feel very powerful. Yeah, he was pushing his head into me. It was the utmost of love. I can make it anywhere. Imagine knowing that in your heart. Like, I feel so strong. I weathered a storm that I didn't think I could weather. I weathered.
Mummy leaving me at 54 years of age. Such a storm. You're such a good girl, aren't you? You're so strong at 54.
A storm that was completely unnecessary. It wasn't like I had to, battle cancer or battle cancer with my mother or battle some horrible illness in my family that with somebody else that we didn't choose. This was all like I battled and rose. What I did was incredible. What I did, how I survived for me and my son was incredible.
Really? At 54. You are as fucking clueless as your friend Lisa. The pair of you. Empty-headed ninnies. You two haven't even got a brain on timeshare. You think you're so strong. And you did so much. You haven't got a fucking clue about a hard life. Not an inkling have you got.
Even if it meant having to steal groceries. I will do anything to survive and provide for my child. And now I can. Between my regular income, my YouTube, my Patreon, my jewelry, and my Scentsy, I'm good. Really good.
So why are you crying and whinging and whining online that you're penniless and you need money if everything was so good? I wonder, do the disability know that you've got Patreon and YouTube and Scentsy and jewellery and everything else?
All right, guys, 2 hours. Look at the Lizzie Dragon. I bought a scale to weigh the critters. I didn't live with her my whole life, first of all.
Practically.
And why did you not feel love from your mom? I can't get into that. I'm not going to sit here. I really don't want to bash my mother. I love my mother.
Didn't,
No, I'm not going to get into it. It
didn't sound like you loved her a couple of minutes ago, though.
serves no purpose. It's just a question you have that you want to know. I don't want to answer. It's fine that you asked, but what's the point of telling? There's no point. No, she wasn't distant or
Oops.
she wasn't distant or mean.
She wasn't distant or mean or a narcissist.
I can't share it. I can't share it with all of you, and you don't need to know. You don't need to know. I just never felt unconditionally loved by either of my parents. It's just the way that it is. I bought this scale for the critters. So I've been weighing Lizzie, and he weighs 305 grams. And then I weighed Fringe, and I think Fringe is a she, so I really screwed up on that one. And Fringe weighs 6 to 7. So I bought some new special food for Fringe, the crested gecko. To fatten him up. So anyways, that's it. I want to go eat. You guys, you should join my Patreon, even for $1, and then you get to see my kitchen organization, and it was really good, and my food haul. And on Patreon, I will be doing a bathroom linen closet vanity organization as well, showing, you know, how you can think outside the box and put your skincare, toothbrush, hair stuff, like go to like Savers or Goodwill and find old dishes, old plates, and use them instead. I do, and it's really fun. These aren't old, but they were cheap. Like this was $2.99, this was $5.99. And thank you all who behaved. You were all so well behaved. I had like 3 trolls. We're doing good. I appreciate you guys so much. I really, 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 I really do like you. I really like a lot of you. A lot of you are good, good people, and I can tell. Aw, sending hugs. I felt it. Pom Pom says, good night, everybody.
Leave Pom Pom alone.
Bye, everyone.
Was that not weird? Was that not the weirdest video you'd ever watched? Very strange. Anyway, thank you if you got to the end with me. And I will catch you in the next one. Bye.